The Undead are one of the most unique races in Azeroth, not just because they're actually dead, but because of their complex relationship with life, death, and morality. The Undead, also known as the Forsaken, were once humans of the kingdom of Lord Aeron, and they were slaughtered and raised as mindless servants of the Lich King, Arthas Menethil. For years, they served as the Scourge, a terrifying force of destruction that sought to consume all life on the planet. However, some of the Undead eventually broke free from the Lich King's control, thanks to the efforts of the Banshee Queen, Sylvanas Windrunner. These free-willed Undead became known as the Forsaken, and they still claim the ruins of Lord Aeron as their own, seeking revenge against the Lich King and a place of their own in the world. The Forsaken are a deeply cynical and pragmatic people. Their experiences as mindless Undead and their rejection by the living have left them bitter and distrustful. They are willing to go to extreme lengths to secure their survival and independence, often employing ruthless tactics and dark magic. Despite their grim disposition, the Forsaken are fiercely loyal to their own kind, and they value their freedom above all else. Under leadership of Sylvanas, the Forsaken join the Horde, seeking allies in their struggle against the Lich King and the Alliance. However, their relationship with the Horde is tense, as many of the Horde's members view the Forsaken with suspicion and fear. The Undead racial abilities reflect their condition as living corpses, with Will of the Forsaken granting immunity to fear, sleep, and charm effects, and Cannibalize allowing them to feast on the corpses of humanoid or undead enemies to restore health. The Orcs, originally from the world of Draenor, are a proud and noble race known for their strength, honor, and warrior culture. Their traditional society was tribal, with clans led by chieftains, and they lived in harmony with the ogres. And in the early days, together they hunted, celebrated, and thrived in the lush world of Draenor. However, their peaceful existence was shattered by the Burning Legion, who manipulated the Orcish race, leading them to drink the blood of the demon Manoroth. This act corrupted the Orcs, turning them into bloodthirsty warriors, and fueling a genocidal war against the Draenei, a peaceful race that lived on Draenor. Under the control of Gul'dan, the Orcs were transformed into the bloodthirsty Horde and invaded Azeroth through the Dark Portal. After years of war, the Orcs were defeated and imprisoned in internment camps. Their redemption began with Thrall, a young Orc who escaped captivity and united the remaining Orc clans, freeing them from demonic influence and leading them to Kalimdor to start a new life. Under Thrall's leadership, the Orcs established the new Horde, a coalition of various races united in strength and honor. Thrall sought to truly free the Orcs from the legacy of their demonic corruption and returned to their shamanistic roots, where the Orcs built their capital city, Orgrimmar, and Thrall became the war chief, leading the Orcs to a new era of prosperity and growth. However, after Thrall stepped down as war chief, Garrosh Hellscream took his place, and his aggressive policies led to numerous conflicts, both within and outside the Horde. This culminated in the siege of Orgrimmar, where Garrosh was overthrown, and Vol'jin, a troll leader, became the new war chief. The events of World of Warcraft showcase the Orcs' efforts to balance their warrior heritage with their desire for peace and honor, and they continue to play a central role in the Horde's ongoing struggles. Trolls are one of the oldest races in Azeroth, known for their tall, lean bodies, tusks, and sharp regenerative abilities. They have a rich and complex history, with many different tribes spread across the world. The jungle trolls are some of the most well-known, with the Gurubashi Empire being one of the most powerful in ancient times. The Darkspear trolls, a tribe of jungle trolls, are the ones that joined the Horde. Originally from the islands of the South Seas, they were exiled by rivals and eventually aided by Thrall and his Horde. In gratitude, the Darkspear trolls, led by Vol'jin, pledged their loyalty to the Horde, settling in Durotar and the Echo Isles. Troll culture is deeply spiritual, with a strong connection to the Loa, a diverse group of spirits worshipped by the trolls. The Loa can take many forms, including animals, ancestors, or powerful entities. Each tribe has their own pantheon of Loa, and the Darkspear's primary Loa is the serpent god, Sarek. Trolls practice a form of voodoo, utilizing magic for healing, curses, and communing with spirits. Troll society is tribal and hierarchical, with a chieftain or warlord leading each tribe. Their culture values strength, cunning, and loyalty. However, their history is also marked by brutal warfare, and many tribes still hold grudges against each other and other races. Trolls are known for their fierce tempers, but also for their impeccable sense of humor, usually showcased in difficult situations. The Darkspear trolls, upon joining the Horde, began to adapt to their new allies, and under Thrall's guidance, they started to abandon some of their more savage traditions, focusing on unity and cooperation. Led by wise leaders like Vol'jin, the Darkspear trolls became an integral part of the Horde, contributing their knowledge of guerrilla warfare and shamanistic magic to their cause. During the Cataclysm, the Darkspear reclaimed their ancestral home, the Echo Isles, from a corrupt witch doctor, Zalazane, solidifying their place within the Horde. The Tauren, known as Shuhalo in their own tongue, are a massive, bovine race native to the grasslands of Kalimdor. They have a deep connection to the natural world, and they live as nomadic hunter-gatherers for generations, following the herds of Kodo and living off the land. The Tauren have a rich spiritual tradition, worshipping the Earth Mother, a deity representing the world and its life force. They are guided by their shamans and druids, who teach them to live in harmony with nature. The Tauren have a strong oral tradition, passing down their history and culture through storytelling and song. Their society is communal, with a focus on family, community, and the balance of nature. For most of their history, the Tauren lived as scattered tribes across the plains of Kalimdor, but they faced constant threats from the Centaur, a brutal race of marauders who sought to drive them from their lands. The Tauren were led by Cairn Bloodhoof, who united the tribes and led them to Mulgore, a fertile valley in central Kalimdor. While there, the Tauren founded Thunderbluff, a great city atop towering mesas, and they forged an alliance with the Horde after Thrall and his orcs aided them in their battle against the Centaur. As members of the Horde, the Tauren have fought alongside their allies in many conflicts, but they have remained true to their principles, protecting their land and preserving their ancient culture. Tauren culture is deeply spiritual, and their connection to nature is reflected in their customs, architecture, and way of life. They live in tents and structures made from natural materials, and their society is organized into clans, each with its own chieftain and spiritual leaders. The Tauren value wisdom, strength, and harmony, and they gather in Thunderbluff to celebrate their traditions and honor their ancestors. The Tauren are skilled hunters, warriors, and shamans, drawing upon the power of the earth and the elements. They also hold a strong sense of honor and duty, and are known for their loyalty to their allies and their commitment to protecting the natural world. Overall, the Tauren remain a pillar of strength within the Horde, protecting their homeland and fighting to bring peace and balance to Azeroth. Goblins are a small, green-skinned race known for their intelligence, cunning, and love of explosives and technology. They hail from the tropical isle of Kazan, where their society is built around trade, invention, and exploitation. At one point, the goblins were enslaved by a jungle troll tribe, but they eventually overthrew their oppressors, using explosives and other weapons of war. After gaining their freedom, they established a mercantile empire, with the trade princes of the Bilgewater Cartel ruling over their society. During the Cataclysm, the goblins of the Bilgewater Cartel were forced to flee Kazan when it was destroyed by Deathwing. They eventually joined the Horde, offering their technological expertise in exchange for protection and a new home. Goblins are now a vital part of the Horde, providing engineering, alchemy, and other innovations. Goblins have a very strong love for money and explosives, and their invention and creativity are second to none. They don't really care how they earn their money, as long as they get it, and they are notorious for making bad business decisions, or just unethical ones in general. They are also willing to work with anybody, even their enemies, as long as the price is right. Blood Elves, originally High Elves, were part of the Highborn who followed Queen Ashara and her practice of arcane magic, and when the reckless use of magic led to the Sundering, the Highborn were exiled from Kalimdor. The Highborn who survived the Sundering, led by Dathrimar Sunstrider, eventually settled in the forests of Quel'Thalas and renamed themselves High Elves, and they established the Kingdom of Quel'Thalas, where they built the Sunwell, a powerful source of arcane magic. The High Elves lived in peace and prosperity for thousands of years, but their reliance on arcane magic made them vulnerable to the Burning Legion. And during the Third War, the Scourge, led by Prince Arthas, invaded Quel'Thalas, destroying the kingdom and corrupting the Sunwell. The surviving High Elves, led by Prince Kel'Thas Sunstrider, renamed themselves the Blood Elves in memory of their fallen people. After the destruction of the Sunwell, the Blood Elves suffered from a withdrawal of magic, causing many to become addicted and to seek out other sources of power. Kael'thas led a group of Blood Elves to Outland, where they allied with Illidan's Stormrage and the Naga, but many Blood Elves who remained in Azeroth struggled to survive, and under the leadership of Lorthamar Theron, the Blood Elves rebuilt their kingdom and formed an alliance with the Horde. They were also able to purge the Sunwell of its corruption, restoring it as a source of both arcane and holy magic. The Blood Elves are known for their beauty, intelligence, and mastery of arcane magic. They are a proud and resilient people, and they have faced many hardships in their history, but they have always managed to survive and rebuild.